The Democrats are in charge of your government, and the Democrats are well for now are in charge of the entire government except the courts, most of the courts. And they had no they didn't they were like the Republicans. They didn't really run on policies. They said we got to fix our democracy. The Republicans are about to come in and you know they you know they wanted to fix our democracy. That Republicans are going to come in and destroy everything. And my brother makes this argument. My big brother. Well, we have to. I'd rather a slow death than Republicans coming in to kill us and destroy everything. And did that help? Did that help in the midterms? Did you keep the house? Huh? Did you? Because as far as I know, I don't think that helped. Oh, they're going to destroy everything if we let them take over. Oh my God, they're going to hurt us. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to destroy the world. So the Democrats, just a bit of history. The railway workers were wanting to strike because they were not getting enough pay. They were having terrible working conditions. And, the corporations are making over $100 billion off of the backs of these workers, and these workers are not being compensated properly. Imagine Wall Street not being compensated properly. So, can you explain who are the railway workers? What do they do?
Engineers, conductors, people who operate the schedules, make the trains run, ensure that the trains are actually functional, maintenance people, track people, people at ticket counters, so on and so forth.
Right. Okay. And also the people that drive the trucks to the seaports to grab all the fish, all the shrimp, all the goods that are delivered into the country, the trucks that go across the country to deliver those goods, the steam automotives, the trains, the planes that go and take FedEx packages across the country, all those things, right? Is that also true?
Well, they're not the railway workers, but they are transport workers. Yes, they're truckers and
But they work together.
UPS guys. Yeah, this particular strike though is related to the railway workers, the engineers, the conductors. There's about 100,000 of them. Mm-hmm.
Right. So and you need them. So you need those guys in order for your UPS driver, your Amazon driver, your truckers, your ships, your planes, all your FedExes. You need the guys that handle the scheduling and formatting the bus schedules and the train schedules and the ticket count. You need all of them. And if they go on strike, America stops.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then the truckers can't do their job. The ships can't. They're just going to be stuck with goods. And I think they even schedule the shipping to when to come into the port and when to leave, so that there's no accidents. Right. So your planes are not going to take off with your packages over the holidays. They're just not. So the Democrats, the unions were going to go on strike. They don't need the Democrats' help, by the way. It would be nice for an endorsement, but they know they don't mean it. So they were going to go on strike because these corporations weren't helping them. Well, the Democrats had other ideas. They decided
corporations owned by the likes of Warren Buffett, for example.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. And Warren Buffett is correct on certain issues, but not on all. Oh yes, I am a Warren Buffett. So again, I mean, the Democrats voted on a bill that would restrict these workers from striking, and they denied them a 7-day paid leave.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted. 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
7 days. So here.
Hey, guess what? You voted blue and they screwed you. That's what happened if you're a worker, and I mean any worker. So the paid sick leave for rail workers just failed. Majority of workers want it. The majority of Americans support it. Majority of senators voted for it. Didn't pass.
If a majority of senators vote for it, how does it fail?
You need that filibuster. You need the 60 vote threshold. Yeah.
See, this is where the Republicans are smarter than the Democrats. And the Democrats are little pussies because we can't do it without a 60 vote. It's morally wrong if we do it. Ooh. McConnell had whatever the majority was, he would, so like, let's say the majority was 52 Republicans, he'd lower it to like 50, 51. As long as I have 50 or 51 of my guys voting for it, my caucus, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, eventually McConnell's going to be the one to eliminate the filibuster altogether.
Yeah, when he takes over in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So unless we have that thing, remember in 2001 when a Vermont senator switched from Republican to independent and gave Democrats the power?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name, but I know that. Yeah. So that happened. So again, Democrats could have had a nuclear. It's called the nuclear option. When they made the rules, they relied on what McConnell wanted, not what you wanted, not what the Democrats wanted, because they were voted in. So Chuck Schumer could have had a 51 or even a 49 nuclear option. And they went over that, and it would have passed, and we'd have 7-day paid leave for these workers.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing how the Democrats just failed from the beginning. Aside from this
country isn't even remotely a democracy. Very well said. A majority wanted paid sick leave for railroad workers? Well, not a majority of railroad tycoons. Am I right? Come on.
No, not them. You want me to pay you sick leave? I want you to work when you're sick, though.
Yeah, cough up that virus.
It's okay. I want to fire you if you get sick and you have to take off, because I'll just replace you.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't want to pay you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being sarcastic. That's exactly what those companies would do. And they do it.
Boy. Yeah. Senate votes to impose contract on rail workers rejecting paid sick leave.
So the Senate is basically saying, you're going to take this contract because I effing said so. Now shut the F up. No paid leave. The government is telling you what you're going to take as a worker. Not, here are your benefits. No, we're going to do what the corporations want, and we're going to shove it down your throat. But you keep voting blue.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it. So the railroad workers have real bargaining power. They have real leverage, and they're prepared to use it. They rejected the contract that didn't give them sick pay. Railroad companies are making record billion-dollar profits. Billions and billions. It would cost about $200 million to give these people sick days. They're making billions and billions in profits.
So over, let's say, $100 billion, and it cost them $200 million. So what would that be? $700 billion left over in profits? Or I'm sorry, $700 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, but $200 billion or $200 million. Now that's a lot of money to me, but for these companies, just $200 million in sick leave. But they don't want to provide it, and the Democrats are bought by these people, so they don't want to provide it.
Mm-hmm.
And the government stepped in to screw the workers.
That's right.
The government denied them the right to strike, which is denying them the right to collectively bargain. That's what that is. So Joe Biden and the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the squad, they voted to screw you. And they did it. They just did it.
So you voted for them to protect a democracy, and then they turned around and bit you in the ass. That's what happened. That's what happened. They told you, they screwed you over by not allowing you to bargain with your company, with your bosses.
Yeah.
They eliminated your right to strike, your First Amendment right to protest, and the freedom of assembly and the freedom of speech. They eliminated that. The Democratic Party eliminated that. Joe Biden did that. But the Republicans, they're going to kill us all. It's going to be a really fast death. Whereas Democrats, it's a slow death. Okay. Stop. So you're telling me I'm going to die, but I have a difference between a bullet and toxins in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big. Oh, I'm going to die. Which one would I rather? Oh, that's a good question. So you don't get paid sick leave because Democrats are siding with these corporations, even though they're trying to safeguard democracy. Which we don't have a democracy. Again, I'll say we live in an oligarchy. Your democracy was stolen decades ago, and Citizens United made it so that we never had a democracy in the first place. Okay,
Joe Biden.
You know what's so
Go ahead.
so great about this story is, let's just reflect on 2 years ago when the largest transnational corporations operating within the U.S. were begging for tens of billions of dollars in bailouts during COVID. And they got them just so they could use this money to do stock buybacks. And AOC, Ilhan Omar, all these people approved that, and they had no qualms with this. But when a measly group of railway workers keeping the country operating ask for the less than 2% of the railway company's annual profits to try and get 7 days paid sick leave, or some days paid sick leave, not only are they nowhere to be found, but they're actually siding with the private corporations and the government hand in hand to clamp down on these workers in a fascistic takeover.
So Naeem, I'm gonna get your opinion here, but they can vote 2 years ago for a $4.25 trillion upward transfer of wealth, the biggest upward transfer of wealth in human history, for these exact corporations who needed tens of billions of dollars in bailouts. They were begging the government, please help us. And the government just gave it to them. The squad just gave it to them. AOC, Cory Bush, Jamal Bowman wasn't there. Cory Bush wasn't there either, huh? No. But they voted for another Wall Street bill when they did come into power in 2021. Raul Grijalva, Ro Khanna, I couldn't think of his name before on the other live stream. Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, all of them voted for that. But as soon as 100,000 railway workers say, "Hey, by the way, when I have the corona, this virus thingy that I can't, yep, can you please give me sick pay?" No. So they do government bailouts to big corporations.
What we gotta do, bro?
I mean, give me your opinion here. Just,
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, bro. They're just trying to make sure that these railway companies, when they have to submit to Wall Street their profits, they don't show any cut, even if it's very small. Like 2%, that's not a lot, but they're not even willing to give that up.
and the government just lets it happen. By the way, the squad just lets it happen. I thought the squad was supposed to be and Kyle Kalinske and Ryan Grimm keep running interference for politicians. Cenk Uygur keeps running interference for politicians. And Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks, she's so mad at the Democrats for abortions and they're corrupt and they're not there. I'm sorry. They're not there for you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm Anna Kasparian and I'm bought. By Jeffrey Katzenberg, the guy who wants to criminalize homelessness, the most powerful member of the LA community who scares the bejesus out of the LA City Council, and Buddy Roemer, a right winger. So they got the Clinton train and the Republican Party at the Young Turks, and Ryan Grimm at the Intercept lying about forced to vote, saying that helping them say that Kevin McCarthy would become speaker if we did that, which they knew was not true at all. Ryan Grimm even said it wouldn't be true, but then he turned around to run interference for them. And the squad says that, oh, we're not corporate bots, so we side with the people. Naeem, maybe because I'm stupid, this doesn't look like they're siding with the people.
No.
I'm just saying. To me, it doesn't look. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with you.
So,
Yeah.
the president of the United States serving the interests of railroad tycoons.
No.
Boy, that is a blast from the past. Is Biden that old? Huh? Come on. So, the Senate approved the bill imposing a new union contract on tens of thousands of rail workers and prohibiting them from going on strike. Now, what's more important than not only this railroad, this would have set the tone in the country for labor. Labor's winning, right? So you saw how Amazon is now getting unionized, how Starbucks is now getting unionized. People are coming together and realizing that left, right need to come together to fight the oligarchy, because that's what we're in. We're not in a democracy, and this proves it.
Okay, so Starbucks, Amazon, Kellogg's, John Deere, Frito-Lay, all these guys. Well, they're going on strike, but specifically Amazon and Starbucks are getting unionized. You saw Christian Smalls won in New York, and then AOC tried to take credit for it when she said, "Oh, I can't go because of security purposes to a rally you're holding, but I can go to a $10,000 a dish dinner, $10,000 a plate dinner, and say eat the rich on a dress."
Mm-hmm.
That's who AOC is. Okay, she's corrupt. She's absolutely stupid. And by the way, that's right. We don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy. But then, Starbucks workers. Do you think they're all liberal, Naeem? Do you think all Starbucks workers are all liberal?
No.
No.
I mean,
There's probably
maybe a number of them, but I don't think every single one of them is.
right. Maybe the manager might be a green. Maybe the guy that makes the frappuccinos. Maybe he a Tea Party. Maybe the night crew are heavily Republican. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. But the point, or maybe they're heavily Democratic. You never know. You think no? They all came together and said, "Well, we need to unionize." Yes, Starbucks has got good benefits, but we need to unionize. We need to protect our rights, and they did. And
Warrior Met is on strike. Warrior Met Coal.
Who is it?
Warrior Met Coal.
Okay.
They're a coal mining company in Alabama. They're on strike. They've been on strike for over a year.
And how's the company not failing?
They're hiring temporary employees.
Okay.
Mhm.
They're hiring, and those people are fired. Those strikers, right?
They got a picket line all set up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any movement?
Hopefully there will be.
Well, it's been over a year, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
But again, people are coming to get. I guarantee you, not everyone in Alabama is a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you. It's just moms, it's dads, it's brothers, it's sisters, it's good old families, good old folks just wanting some labor rights. And this strike could have really set the tone. These guys operate the country. If these guys go on strike, we are effed.
You're not wrong.
And this would have, if they would have, because they have leverage, then the corporations would have had to give them even a smidge. Fine, we'll agree with 4 sick days. I would have go 5. But it would have been something.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been something. You know? Imagine if that was the new shining labor win. Imagine what Kohl's, Wegmans, Stater Brothers, Albertsons, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, every shopping mall in this country, Amazon,
Chipotle, Walmart,
yeah, Starbucks, Coffee Bean, all these companies. Imagine all these workers, the movie theater industry, the casino industry, the entertainment industry. Imagine how many people would go, I can do that too, and I can win.
Ramesh Balwani just got sentenced to 13 years in prison, by the way.
Who is that?
Sunny Balwani, he was the second CEO of Theranos with Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, wow, he got 13 years. Damn.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to put all the blame on him, so.
I love you, babe. Now I'm gonna throw you under the bus tonight in the court.
Yeah, well, she accused him of forcing her to do all these things and domestic violence and shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, using that good old DV. All right.
This proves you don't live in a democracy. So when people say you voted for Democrats to save democracy, that proves you don't live in a democracy. You live in an oligarchy. The majority of everybody wants it in this country, except a handful of rich people who pull the strings. And that's that. That's that.
That's it.
So you're all suckers if you watch the January 6th hearings and believed it. You're a sucker. You're a sucker if you think that was a threat to our democracy. You're a sucker if you think we live in a democracy.
Yeah. A thing that happened a year ago, almost 2 years ago now. If you think that is what's the threat to our democracy, you are absolutely wrong. Because the threat to our democracy, and Naeem, you can tell me if I'm right or not, is your labor rights being taken away from right under you. It's the fact that you don't have health care in this country because the healthcare industry bought all of our politicians. It's the fact that, as we've gone over in this stream, we have a lack of building of any houses, skyrocketing interest rates, and Wall Street wanting more and more money. That's why we have more people out of homes. That it's the fact that we don't have a free education system and people are up to their eyeballs in student debt because they went to school and they're being punished for that as criminals. That's what's the threat to our democracy, not a bunch of idiots that just walked into the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they broke windows, they stole things. And guess what? They also paid their taxes. And maybe if you had given them their third $1,000 check, Naeem, do you think if those idiots, by the way, a lot of them were FBI informants, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So do you think if those guys got their third $1,000 check, do you think they would have been at the Capitol that day?
Mm-hmm.
Why? You there? Oh, you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
I said, why do you think if they had their third $1,000 check coming to them that month in January, that they wouldn't have attacked the Capitol?
No. Probably not.
Right, but why do you think they wouldn't have attacked the Capitol if they got their $1,000 check?
They would have seen the government's working for them, for the people.
Maybe they could pay off a credit card. Maybe they can buy more groceries. Maybe they can pay off the rent. Maybe they can put more towards their mortgage. Maybe they can pay the gas. Maybe they can pay the electric bill. I don't know. Maybe they can pay their car. Maybe they can afford to buy their kids clothes for the winter. Maybe they can afford to send their kids on a field trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw the article from the Washington Post. I think it was Huffington or Washington Post, that they said that it was financial hurt that made a lot of these guys do it. They were desperate.
Yeah.
Well, if they were so desperate, how'd they get to Washington? When you are hurting, you will do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. So those January 6 hearings, by the way, they're sunsetting it. They're going to, right? But they're going to send recommendations for criminal prosecutions to the Justice Department. And knowing the Justice Department, they're going to take that on. Recommendations.
Mm-hmm. That is right. Yeah.
And this proves it. And this was done to you by the people you just voted in to save your democracy.
That's
what
right.
you voted in was fucking fascism.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what that is. That is the government and corporations coming together to screw the citizen. That is the definition of fascism, according to Mussolini.
Oh, but now it's if you're a Trumper, if you're a right winger, if you are a Russian agent, a neo-Nazi or a Nazi in general, a homophobe, a xenophobe, a somethingphobe, a Islamophobe, those are the fascists. not the people in our government, not the Democrats working with real railway companies to screw you over. No, not those. Because that is what fascism is. What did Hitler do? I'll improve your economic situation, but you're going to do what I want. And companies are gonna help me prosecute Jews, and they're not gonna hide any Jews. And it's coming over those two entities, the government and the corporations, coming over to screw you over, coming together. And guess what? That is fascism. Not this Trump crap. No.
You know, Jimmy, I have, according to the Wall Street Journal, it was 80-15, and it has 15 senators who voted against imposing the labor deal to end the strike, represented both the left and right wings of the Senate, ranging from liberals such as Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, Bernie Sanders, Vermont, to including Cruz, Metzger, and Hawley.
So all of them, Cruz, Metzger, Hawley, Warren, Sanders, and then maybe another, that all voted for the paid sick leave.
So who voted for the paid sick leave? Yeah, you had Cruz, Rubio,
Metzger, Hawley, Braun,
Mike Braun,
Mike Braun, and
Josh Hawley, Lindsey Graham,
Bernie Sanders, and
Bernie
Senator
Sanders,
Warren.
Elizabeth Warren.
All of them voted for it. Again, elections are coming up, so those Republicans, they're trying to say, I was there. I was trying to help you, but good old Chuck Schumer. And it's going to work, by the way. The next person that goes after Ted Cruz, because they're going to do it, they're going to be weak. Ted Cruz is not
they're gonna run the same guy they always run, Beto O'Rourke.
Who loses every time. But he raises more money than God.
Beto O'Rourke and Stacey Abrams, bro. Those two are always losing, but always raising money.
Always. They're so good at it. Last night on CNN, I heard none of this, these two wins, this win here would have never been possible without Stacey Abrams.
That's so.
Why? For a voting program she built 2 years ago?
I feel so bad for her. Her own voting program is not serving her. She keeps on losing.
Yeah, but she helps everybody else out win. Everyone else is winning with her program. It's just
it's literally like all these people are like, thanks, Stacey, for setting this program up for us. We ain't gonna vote for you, but you set it up for us. Thanks for the infrastructure. Shit.
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
She's better off. Better off.
Bernie Sanders and
Go ahead.
I said she's better off figuring out a way that she can suck Brian Kemp's than trying to keep on running against him.
He'd probably let her.
He would.
He probably wants some younger woman, but
he's a slime ball. He doesn't care.
Literally.
and Elizabeth Warren voted against this. Did you know that, Jackson?
I didn't know that.
According to what she just read me. Where's that from?
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal says that 15 senators voted against it. It requires 60,000. This bill requires 60,000 freight rail workers who'd previously rejected tentative union contracts to keep working or face getting fired. Senators rejected an amendment. So then they had. So in the House, the squad was lying to you that they were doing the bidding of the unions. They were not. They were pretending they were. Look, we voted to give them 7 days of sick pay. Right? And that's what the unions wanted us to do. The unions didn't want you to do anything. The unions didn't want Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or Joe Biden to do anything. They got this. They organized, they have their unions, and they're ready to go on strike, and they would win that strike. That's why they had to do this, because they would win that strike. So don't listen to Ryan Grimm at The Intercept, who lied. On Twitter yesterday, I saw him. It's amazing to watch these guys operate. They're just like politicians.
Yeah. Again, I know I'm repeating myself. They knew that these guys would shut down the country. They knew that they would win. They knew that the Democrats would look stupid. So what did the Democrats do? They came and intervened.
Mhm.
I mean, why do you think the Democrat, besides stopping it, is it as simple as, well, just to help their donors?
Mhm.
Of why they intervened?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
Amazing.
straightforward.
Amazing. Hey, but keep voting blue, huh? Okay.
Yeah, including blue.
You went on Twitter and said that that's what the union wanted. That is not what the unions wanted. The unions didn't want him to do anything.
Yeah, Ryan Grimm. I don't know if you like Ryan Grimm or not, but I don't. He's a milk toast liberal who runs interference for the freaking establishment, and he protects politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that the unions wanted congressional interference. Naeem, do you think do you think unions wanted congressional interference in this?
No, not necessarily.
Because they had the resources. They don't need Congress to go on strike.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Congress interfered.
lying.
Congress
Huh?
interfered. Congress interfered because Biden was afraid that if the unions succeeded at this strike, all the other unions will start to strike in different different sectors of the economy.
And that's good. We
That's
support
good.
that here on the show.
Yeah, Biden doesn't.
Biden doesn't, because he's anti-worker. He's been anti-worker. He
Mhm.
he pushed Ronald Reagan to the right on the war on drugs, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Biden did. Drug warrior, author of the crime bill, and he's got a cop as a vice president. Great. And he's against workers.
Mm-hmm.
He's been against workers his whole entire career. NAFTA, PNTR with China. By 2007, not Tesla, but Chrysler factory, because Tesla started in 06, 07, or 08, I don't remember. They I'm pretty sure it started, but it got popular then. The factory there got taken over by China because they offshored the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden let them do that, and he screwed over the workers in the Midwest too.
Yeah.
But they knew Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats were going to fuck them over anyway. So then, of course, they wanted them to vote for a 7-day thing, even though everybody knew it was going to get screwed in the Senate. So what? They're again running cover for politicians who are screwing workers. Last time, the Intercept and Ryan Grimm ran interference for politicians. It was around forced to vote. It was to keep the screw over healthcare activists in favor of politicians. This time, it's to screw over railroad workers in favor. So it doesn't matter. He's going to keep that access.
That's what it's about. It's that access to the powerful. I want to interview AOC today. I want to be into the Democratic campaigns. I want to be let into the campaign headquarters on election night. I want to have enough stories and scoops to put out and make millions of dollars off of them. I'm Ryan Grimm, and that's what I do. Because I don't know if you remember, you supported First to Vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember how I got attacked for it, and Jimmy Dore got attacked for it, and all of us who were fighting for Forced to Vote, unlike Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report that's gone all culture war, Trumpian, oh my God, against Trump. David Dole, who's got healthcare because he lives in Canada, the Rational National. Sam Sater, who lost in a debate to Jackson Hinkle, the guy on this thing. I don't know if you saw it, but he lost.
Uh-huh.
Him, Emma Vingland, and Matt Winder on there. I think that's his name. They all took Jackson on, and he still beat them. Even Sam Sater's own fans. And Sam Sater literally said, "I don't have values." And they all attacked me, and they said I was committing violence. They said Jimmy Dore was committing violence for saying we should force politicians to do their jobs and give us healthcare in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
But they did force the vote on on their Voting Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
They said we would be hurting the progressive movement if we did that. Right, because the women who were fighting for the right to vote, they I don't know if you know this, Nine, but women still don't have the right to vote
Mhm.
because it would hurt their movement if they forced the women to vote. Right?
Yeah.
It would hurt their movement. That's why we don't have the 19th Amendment. That's why 1919 they didn't get the right. I don't know if you know that.
Tell me more.
Well, because you know how the women. There's an excuse that forced to vote was a bad idea because it wouldn't. The women did it because they didn't have internet at the time, and it was just a different time, and da 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 da. You know, the women didn't get the right to vote by only having it go through the House once.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, anyway.
Another measure, which would have added 7 paid sick days, failed to break the filibuster. So that's it. So that was it. That's what I just told you. So of course we as we predicted, the reason why Nancy Pelosi did it that way, she had 2 votes, one vote to end the strike and another vote to give them 7 days paid sick leave because they know it could be split up in the Senate and they would vote that down and they would go through and there you go. And that's exactly what happened. Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders spoke from the Senate floor ahead of Thursday's vote. And yet, today, in that industry, workers who do difficult and dangerous work have 0 paid sick days. 0. You get sick, you get a couple of bucks against you, couple of bucks, you get fired. This cannot and must not happen in America in 2022.
I love his Bernie Sanders impression.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually better than my impression. I just gotta tell you, you got a couple of bucks and then you get fired from your job. And we cannot do that. We have to tell the American people that we're here for them, and someone's got to tell them that they're there for them, and then we got to help them. That's how he talks.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it was, we're going to tell the American people that none of the parties are going to be here for you, and that they got to vote third party. Remember how fast he used to speak back in the day?
Yep.
Back then in 1995, 1996, Bernie Sanders advocated for third parties. Bernie Sanders had the movement in 2016, to start his own third party. He had the movement, the money, the resources, the people. And he screwed us all over. He killed his own progressive movement. Isn't that awesome? Ain't that funny?
Yep.
Sell out, motherfucker. Oh, Bernie.
So basically, Congress did their job, which is serving the interests of large corporate donors. That's what Congress, that's what they do. That's why you don't have health care. That's why you don't have a living wage. That's why they're sending $100 billion to Ukraine while everybody lives under bridges in America, which that money could fix. Because they only legislate for their corporate donors. You know how the wealthy who run this country, people go, Jimmy, do they have meetings? What do you think? They have secret meetings? They don't have secret meetings. It's called a fucking session of Congress. All their puppets get together to do their bidding and write legislation that favor them, not you, not the workers. Again, which is why you don't have health care and why railroad workers can't even get fucking sick pay. Now, they would have won that. They would.
Yeah, we have $700 billion going to Ukraine right now.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that do you think we could have spent on free college? $100 billion. How much do you think could have fixed homelessness? $20 billion. How 40, I think, what is it? 1 in 5 children live in poverty.
Yeah.
How many veterans could we gotten off the streets? 100,000. How many people could we gotten off the streets? 500,000.
Mm-hmm. Right.
$700 billion. That we could spend that money on Medicare for all.
Mm-hmm.
We could give people health care.
Let's go give some more money to Ukraine.
But hey, let's give more money to Zelensky, who's losing the war.
He was announced Time Person of the Year today, by the way.
I know. Did you have Person of the Year? Oh, God.
Person of the Year, all right.
Anti-peace, yeah. Woo! Hey, did you see Sean Penn at the Oscars give his award to Zelensky?
He gave his award to Zelensky?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
These celebrities are so stupid. They're so stupid.
Sure.
God. Remember how? And then he appeared at the Grammys talking about peace and all that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not the one that rejected a peace deal.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the reason why we're sending all this money out to Ukraine. We're sending all this money to the generals in the military, not the generals that like that they're out in the field actually fighting. I'm talking about the generals who are being paid to go on TV and lie for the intelligence community in the military industrial complex. We're paying them. We're paying Halliburton, Honeywell, Boeing, Raytheon, all these and other. Can't think of other defense contractors right now, but we're paying all of them. We're giving them $789 billion. We gave Trump money for the military, and yet, he's too dangerous. He can't be near the nuclear button, but we're going to give him money for the military.
Mhm.
My kid, I'm afraid he's going to crash my car. Here, son, here's the keys to my Camaro.
Ukraine is bombing in Russia right now. So
What was that?
Ukraine attacked 3 airfields in Russia.
When?
They attacked 2 on Monday and 1 yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to go over that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do all of that, but some measly 60,000 workers, railway workers, cannot get paid sick leave of $200 million. What percent is that? Hold on a second.
2%.
Wait, hold on. No, what percent is so a 200 million?
I'm gonna be right back. By the way,
Would it be 200 million divided by 700 billion and times 100? Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
200 million divided by 700 billion times 100.
200 million divided by 700 billion times 100 is approximately 0.02857.
Oh. 0.02%. Not even 1%.
Not even 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Not even 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Not even one. That's how much money it will take to help these railway workers with $700 billion.
I tell you, man. I tell you, not even 1%.
Are you needing to go, or what's going on?
No, I was gonna go to to go water some greens, but you could continue. I'm gonna be right back. 30 seconds or less.
Okay.
Right.
Water them greens.
Mm-hmm. Don't want the plants to die.
Oh, water them greens, huh? All right, so let's cover this.
They would have won their strike, and you know what that would have done for workers across the country? That would have done a lot.
Oh yeah, it would have done
That
plenty.
changed the tempo.
Absolutely.
That would have changed everything. But Joe Biden and the Democrats did this to you. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, next time you vote.
Not just Joe. I mean,
next time you vote.
It's literally the squad, the people who campaigned on being the heroes of workers across the country. This was the fundamental tenet of their quote unquote democratic socialism, was that we stand with the workers. Now they're getting outflanked by the majority of the Republican Party to their left. They're getting outflanked by John Hickenlooper to their left on the issue of standing up for workers. It's insane.
So this squad that claims to be for the worker is actively voting against the worker and is actively going against the worker, siding with the corporations. The corporations that in 2018, AOC ran on, I'm going to hold the corporations accountable. I'm going to hold the government accountable. We need to force the vote. That's what she ran on. The squad that lies and says that they're working on behalf of the worker, they're not working on behalf of the worker. You just heard Jackson Hinkle. They're working on behalf of the corporations, and they're getting outflanked by Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley Senator Marco Rubio. Ted Cruz. Now Ted Cruz has an election in 2 years. So maybe that's why. I'm Ted Cruz. I say the Democrats. It's yeah, they're getting outflanked.
So the Congress did its job, which is serving their donors. Now it's time for the workers to do their job, which is basically the same job, but without any paid sick leave.
Yeah, go to work. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you're ill. You better come to work or get fired. America. Yeah.
And here's Bernie pretending to do his job, pretending he's doing his job. He's pretending to care about the direct effects of prolonged war in Ukraine. Is that what he's doing? President Biden, who pledged as a candidate to be the most pro-union president in U.S. history, has promised to sign this unpopular deal into law. He's going to do it.
Because he's corrupt.
You know, he actually might be the most pro-union president in U.S. history. That's how anti-union the United States fucking is. There's a chance he could very well be the most pro-union president. I got to look that up.
No, he's not pro-union at all.
And so here's what I said. This is what people thought happened on January 6th. Your democracy wasn't stolen on January 6th. It was stolen by corporations decades ago, and this is proof. Here's your evidence.
And even with that evidence, people, but January 6th, but Trump, but he's treasonous, and he's racist. Well, you guys voted in a racist, xenophobic, homophobic, rapist, and sexual assaulter, abuser, harasser. You guys voted that guy in. And you're going to talk about Trump? Look, Trump, yeah, I could guarantee he probably is. Right? But there's actual credible proof against Biden, whereas Trump, it's like, not really. And that's who you voted in. The guy that's going to vote this unpopular bill through. Oh, the American people don't like it? Great, I'll vote it through. I'm Joe Biden.
If you think that a bunch of guys in pajama bottoms and a buffalo helmet were the ones who overturned your democracy, you're a fucking chump of the highest order.
Yeah, if you think that a bunch of yahoos took who raided the Congress, that's what took your democracy. They didn't take your democracy. No. Those guys didn't take your democracy. It's the railway corporations, it's the healthcare companies, it's the real estate corporations, investment firms, landlord corporations, investment federal contractors, contract firms, big pharma, Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden, all these guys. Every corporation took your democracy decades and decades ago.
And Chuck Schumer.
What was that?
And Chuck Schumer.
Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer and AOC. All these guys, they're stealing your democracy as you vote for them. And if you think that January 6th is the reason that you don't have health care, I'm sorry, but those who think so, they're stupid. I don't regret it. I will not take it back. And by the way, I must admit, I was wrong on January 6th when it happened. And I want to publicly apologize for being wrong. I called them terrorists. I said this was terrorism at the highest order. I said these were white nationalists when there were really a lot of people of all colors, shapes, sizes, walks of life. Everyone at the so I need to apologize as an independent person for saying those things. I've learned and I've grown. So. You know, maybe it's because people were hurting. I don't know. So, but your democracy was not stolen because of some idiots in pajama bottoms. But they broke the windows. Some lady was trying to climb up the thing, and then she got shot down. And then 7 police officers lost their lives. Yeah, they even lie about that. Some committed suicide. Some died by illness. By the way, not there. But they stole things from Nancy Pelosi's office. They stole federal property that we pay for. I'm stealing what I paid for. Oops. You think that? I'm not saying that's right. What I'm saying is, you think that's what stole your democracy. I got news for you. That's not what stole your democracy. Naeem?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, or should I keep going?
No, I think you're on a good point. Yeah.
You probably think the president isn't demented and Fauci isn't a criminal.
Joe Biden, who can't find his way off a stage after a speech. Remember that congresswoman who died in a car accident? And then Joe Biden said, I'd like to thank Congresswoman Jackie. Jackie, you here? You saw that video?
Mm-hmm.
He calls his wife his sister, calls his wife his brother, calls his sister his wife his brother. He can't remember his own cabinet's names. He like And you think Fauci's not a criminal? The guy who did all these lockdowns, the guy who lied about herd immunity and natural immunity and the masks and the thing that goes on your arm and the effectiveness of that. I'm trying not to speak. I'm trying to speak in code so I don't get censored. You think that guy's not a criminal? The guy who lied on behalf of Big Pharma that allowed Pfizer to release a medical treatment that wasn't even tested. The guy who gets kickbacks from all the medical corporations and the universe, and he bullies the universities. And that guy, you think he's not a criminal? You think Joe Biden's not demented? You live under a rock. Or you watch MSDNC, MSNBC that doesn't show you those things.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably think that they told you the truth about COVID. You probably do.
Yeah.
They do it right out in the open, as Chris Hezage says. They lie, cheat, and steal. They do it right out in the open. They did this right out in the open. Nobody in the country wanted them to do this except a handful of billionaires. And they did it anyway, and they did it right on TV.
You know, there are more of us than there are billionaires. There's only 500 billionaires in the world. I'm not in the world. I'm sorry, in the United States. There's only 500 billionaires in the United States. There's 330 million people. Just take a look. I'm just saying.
I mean,
it shows you how far we've come too, because the last time something like this happened was in 1917, when the federal authorities overtook, national railway companies and stuff like that. But it was during World War One. They did it because of World War One to try and help the war effort. Now they're just doing it to protect corporate profits.
Yeah, before it was, hey, we got to go help our allies. Now, how do I make Jeff Bezos more money? How do I make these handful of CEOs of all these railway companies money?
Wait, Obama signed. So get a load of this, Jackson.
Get a load of this, Naeem.
Obama signed an executive order in 2015 giving federal contractors paid sick leave. Did you know that?
That's nice, right?
But that order specifically excluded railway workers who otherwise would have qualified.
All right.
So measly means testing and exclusions. That's who Obama was. That's who Obama is. Excluding railway workers from getting paid sick leave.
So Biden ought to put those railway workers back in that executive order.
He ought to, right?
Yeah,
You would
he ought
think.
to.
You would think he would, right? I mean,
He best put the railway workers back into that executive order.
I best get them barbecue ass over there.
Of course.
So Biden can literally just issue an executive order to give rail workers sick days.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why this is a litmus test. It's
But
so
he
much
won't do
different than standing up for Amazon workers or Starbucks workers because of the power that railway workers hold in this country and have historically held.
On a scale of 1 to demented, is he going to do it or no?
Well, if we do 1 to 10, I think there's a 3 that he'll do it.
Really?
Yeah, 3.
I give it a 0.1. I know he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Look, I know it seems simple. Oh, he can just sign an executive order. But there's some nuance here that people don't understand. Biden is utterly corrupt and doesn't give a shit.
That's
The
right.
nuance they're missing.
That's right.
So he ain't going to fucking do that. Joe Biden is there as the enemy of these workers. He's your enemy unless you're a millionaire. Joe Biden is your enemy. He's not your friend. All these asshole fucking Democrats who just voted for Joe Biden thinking that they were doing breaking their arm, patting themselves on the back like they just voted for a fucking saint instead of a fucking war criminal, enemy of the people, racist like Joe Biden. And probably a raper.
Of Tara Reid.
That's how you own the MAGA. You vote for a warmongering war criminal who's an enemy of brown and black people and probably a certified raper.
Let's vote from one rapist to the other.
Mm-hmm. One of them grabs him by the pussy. The other forces
Rapes.
himself on them in the stairwell of the Senate building.
In the stairwell of the Senate building.
Yeah.
And then he compliments her legs.
Hmm.
And then he fingers her. And I hate to be that graphic, but that's what she said. And by the way, she's got documented proof. The University of Delaware, who has all his Senate records, they hid that from the public. How much you want to bet if the University of Delaware had Trump's records, they would release it like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, Biden wouldn't release it. And if Trump did that, he would call on Trump to release it, and he never did.
Yeah, Tara Reid, Lucy Flores, all of them. What's that her name? Lucy Flores from Nevada?
Yep. She's running for lieutenant governor.
Oh, she's running for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, she was running, and Joe Biden went over and I kissed her and I touched her hair, and she was like, "What in the shit are you doing?"
Good own. And he's the only guy in the country who's a bigger liar than Trump. That's quite a pull. God damn it. So here, Obama issued an executive order mandating paid sick leave for employees of all federal contractors, but exempted railroad workers. All Biden needs to do is issue an executive order that removes this exemption. That's it.
Yep.
That's all he needs to do. Remove that exemption, and the issue is solved. No more.
Yeah.
No more.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't do it because he's so corrupt. He's bought by these corporations, and this is the guy you voted for. This is it.
Railroads have spent $180 billion on dividends and stock buybacks since 2010. $180 billion.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's buy back our own stock.
and that's what they did with that bailout money. $180 billion.
Stock buybacks and dividends.
All stock buybacks and dividends. All of them. $180 billion. They can spend on the stock market and gamble their money. But they can't pay sick leave.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do paid sick leave. Ain't that funny? I don't know. I think it's funny.
Paid sick leave for workers would cost $375 million. That's less than 3 cents of each dollar of profit this year.
Less than 3 cents of each dollar of profit. $375 million. $375 million. Less than 3 cents for every dollar of profit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, that's 3 cents profit that could be donated to help Ukraine. That's what I say.
Ain't wrong.
Right?
So do you see the kind of rapacious fucking oligarchy we live in? They won't give the people who generated $180 billion in profit for them, they won't give them sick days, which would cost them a little over $250 million. They made 180 of the billions. They won't. Not only will they not give them one of the billions, they won't even give them half of a billion.
Let alone a quarter.
No, and you know, all of these, you know, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of these people that claim to be progressives, they can understand that this is a problem, that this is an issue, and that workers should be given what they deserve, or at least what they're trying to bargain for, when the level of disparity is so high. But then come election time, they're going to tell you to vote for the same exact Democrats that caused this crisis in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. Cenk Uygur on Twitter criticizing all the Democrats. Oh my God, Joe Biden's so fucking weak and this and that. What do you do in the midterms? Vote for Democrats. What is he going to do in the presidential election? Vote for Democrats. They're better than Trump. As they screw workers over.